If you want to be tested to see if you have the BRCA gene, then you have to have the extended family involved in this as well. And some of the extended family are like you, not wanting to know. And I have heard that it actually causes problems within the families. One girl in particular who has both had breast cancer twice and has the gene. Her sister was tested, didn't have it. She's perfectly all right, but her life has been spoiled because there was a possibility of this. How do you avoid that? How do you avoid people being upset about it?
And I think in the States they have this initiative around Thanksgiving where you should have the turkey talk, where you should sit down with your family and talk about your family history and what's running through your family. If you choose then not to get tested, I think we need to respect people's decisions, as long as people are informed.
I would like to add some of my experience, because I was the one tested in my family. And I felt it a sort of obligation to tell my family, because knowing is a responsibility. Suppose if some of my cousins had breast cancer and I didn't tell them. So I thought I have to tell them, and what they do with it, sorry, but that is what each person is deciding.
Were you actually supported to, or advised?
No, actually not. 12 years ago you just got a letter with your diagnosis and to tell your family about it. And I've heard from other people it's still the same. So I think that could be improved. And I think people really need some guidance in how to tell this problem in your family. Because it's not easy to find the information first at a level that everybody understands it, and then to bring it to your family. I did so, and some of my cousins were very glad to know. They thanked me for it, because now they could go under surveillance, because they always knew somewhere their mother died at the age of 39, and now they knew definitely for sure that they had to take care and to take their preventative measures. And the others were not. They didn't come to my meeting, so that is a decision.
I think also this business about telling your family and how your family perceives it, it doesn't come against a neutral background. You're not telling them and there's nothing that they ever heard about breast cancer before. And I think the death word is still there, because survival may be increasing and increasing and increasing, but it's back to what do people see and what do they hear. The messages that are given out in the media, whether that's through a press release from a respectable organisation, or by whatever means, are actually still quite mixed. On the one hand, you're being told, here's a great new treatment or whatever, and survival rates are going up. And alternatively, and in fact at the same time, you're being told we need more money for research to beat this killer disease. And the two things are going on side by side. So which one do you listen to? But it's this sort of background of this noise almost in the background between of these mixed messages, which means you can't really tell what people are hearing when you're telling them that, what their other underlying beliefs about breast cancer, or indeed any other cancer, might be. Which brings me back to the fact that I think it's really not something that should be left to the private individual to discuss. For example, I have a very small family, but relationships in that family are diabolical. And I had to write a very peculiar letter to an auntie who isn't speaking to me, to say, I've been diagnosed with this, your daughter may well be at risk, because it actually was a very strong family history through the maternal line, so it wasn't the auntie herself. And please will you pass this information on? I've no idea whether she just saw the address on the envelope and tore the whole thing up or anything. The whole thing is kind of bizarre. The idea that you leave it to the individual to do it then gives them a sort of a burden of conscience, which seems to me to be ridiculous on top of everything else, and also a sort of abrogation of responsibility, I suppose, in the same sort of way. I have to say I find it very strange, and I don't know whose interests it's intended to serve.